Welcome back, viewers. In today's circle geometry question, we are given a challenge, and this challenge has come to test our basic knowledge of circle geometry theorems. Looking at this question, we are expected to find the values of angles x and the y. Okay, as you can see, angles x and y. But before that, I want you to see with me that line DE is parallel to line AF. Very important. Okay? And I want you also to see with me that line BF is a tangent. Line BF is a tangent. Why line BD? Line BD is a chord. Okay, very important. Now that we have observed this, we can simply apply this theorem in mathematics circle geometry. That says that the angle between a tangent and a chord is always equal to the angle in the alternate segment. What does that mean? It means that angle CBF, okay, is equal to angle DEB. All right? All right. Mind you, angle CBF is equal to 70 degrees. Therefore, two of them are equal. What will be our reason? Angles between a tangent and a chord. Look at the tangent, look at the chord. So the angle between them is exactly 70. And that angle is equal to the angle in the alternate segment. So we say angles in the alternate segment. So this is the reason why angle CBF is equal to angle DEB. And that is equal to 70 degrees. I want you to see again. All right. The arc DC. We want to make use of it. Arc DC. Notice that arc DC subtended an angle on the circumference at E. The same arc DC subtended an angle at circumference at B. So we can now say that angle DEC, okay, is equal to angle DBC, and that is equal to 10 degrees. What will be our reason? Angles in the same segment. Angles in the same segment, okay, the same segment are equal. So that arc you can see now, DC, look at the arc I'm referring to, okay, that arc DC was used to create angle at B and was also used to create that angle at E. Now, it therefore implies that if DEB is 70, but DEC is 10, so therefore we can simply say that CEB will now be 60 only. Why? Because I have subtracted 10. Therefore, we can now say that CEB is equal to 60 degrees. This is very correct. Very, very correct. All right. We are analyzing circle geometry. Okay. Let me make this thing very neat. We have already written it down. So CEB is 60. Why? The entire of DEB was 70. So having subtracted 10 from DEC, then what is left for CEB will be exactly 60. Now, how is this going to help us? Let us observe another thing. Let us observe another thing. When you say that line DE is parallel to line AF, a very important information will come out there. Now, watch out. If this is line, okay, DE, okay, this is DE, and there is another line called AF, line AF, all right? Once you say that these two lines are parallel, once you say that they are parallel, something important will happen here. And what is that? Any line that cuts across it, e.g., let's look at line from E to B, okay? From E to B. For instance, that line is called a transversal line. Any line that cuts across slantly or diagonally across two parallel lines makes a lot of angles. So what it means is that angle that was here, remember DEB was 70. So it means that also ABE will also be 70. We call it alternate angles are equal. Therefore, this place is going to be exactly angle 70. Very beautiful. And mind you, this place is already 60. Okay, I wrote it before, which is this written, that a CEB is 60. Now, if here is 70, by reason of what? Alternate angles in a two parallel lines. Alternate angles in two parallel lines. Therefore, we can now conclude that finding x will be easy. How? I am going to find x by summing all the angles on a straight line. And what is that straight line? This straight line, okay, A, B, F is a straight line. So all the angles there must be equal to 180. So angles on a straight line, this is a straight line. So angles on a straight line will sum up to 180. So I will write 70 plus letter X plus 70 again must be equal to 180. So remember that from here to here is 70. Also from here to here is 70. Then this small space is X. Mind you, this 10 is inside this 70. So take note of that. Therefore, we can now easily get the value of X. What will now be the value of X? X plus 140 is equal to 180, making X to be 180 subtract 140, and that is equal to 40 degrees. You can see it very beautifully. We have not only gotten the value of X, but for every step that we have taken, we have always explained the reason behind doing what we have done. Now, what is left? Come back. Can you see now that there is a triangle? I want to draw it, and please, I beg your pardon, I want to use black to indicate this triangle. You can see, okay? Look at this point. Please, no matter how rough it is, try to get the message, okay? Now, can you see that this is a triangle here formed? And inside the triangle, I have known the value of X. I know that this angle here is 60, and I know this place is labeled Y. I can now use this triangle to find the value of angle Y using what we call sum of angles in a triangle. So, what are the letters I will use there? I will use CEB. CEB, let me write it in full, though it can be time wasting, but let me just put it down. You can get it. So therefore, I can say 60 plus Y plus 40 is equal to 180. And I will put down my reason. My reason is sum of angles in a triangle. You can see I identified that place with a black pen. So sum of angles, okay, in a triangle. That is my reason. Mind you, we have gotten 60. We have explained how we got 60 here. We have explained how we got it. So I can now write Y plus 60 plus 40 will give me 100 is equal to 180, making the value of Y equal to 180 subtract 100, and that is going to give us 80 degrees. In conclusion to this question, we are done with what we are asked to do. And what is that? That we should find the value of X. And that value of X we have gotten to be 40 degrees with reasons, backing it up. And then the value of Y also is equal to 80 degrees. Please kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and share my videos. Thank you, and God bless you for watching. Bye for now.
na mbụ agwara m mmadụ si